last week, or in fact Wednesday, my family decided they were getting a bit of cabin fever and they were going to head out to Strays Palace. It's my wife and my kids. And kind of getting home this week has been a bit boring. You know, arriving home, it's dark, it's cold. The worst of all, it's cook. It doesn't work. But today, that's not really a problem, is it? I mean, you just pick up the phone, send a message, and you get restaurant quality food delivered to you within an hour. Or even better, within an instant, you can have a car waiting outside that will take you wherever you want to go. So as consumers, we've rapidly adopted these on-demand services that have kind of connected us between ourselves and brands and made it so much easier to interact. But if you look at some of the most successful businesses that have been disrupting the marketplaces, you've got to look at places like Airbnb and Uber. And what they've done is they've had absolutely exponential growth. But how have they done it? Just by applying a very simple formula. And they've taken people, so in the case of Airbnb, it's a whole lot of people with a whole lot of places, that's beds, and they've combined it with a whole lot of rewards and mechanisms to engage the community. And they've created the largest accommodation business in the world, but they don't own a single asset. If you look at Uber, they've done exactly the same. They've taken people, they've added cars into the mix, they've added a whole lot of rewards, they've created the biggest taxi business in the world. It's demonetizing the taxi businesses everywhere you go. So what have they successfully done? They've taken these formulas and they've created an opportunity to have a staff-on-demand platform together with an asset-on-demand platform. And they've just completely annihilated the industry. So 10 months ago, we launched a product called M4Jam. It's a microjobbing platform, better known as Money for Jam. And what we did is we took people and we added smartphones and we added a whole lot of rewards around that through a microjobbing solution, which says that people can take their phone, they can simply go and do a job which is less than 10 minutes, compete on their phone, and in return for doing that job for a brand and giving real-time feedback to the brand, they earn between 10 and 30 rand for their effort. So it's pretty simple. We launched the product, and within 3 hours, we had 7,500 jobs completed on the platform. So we started thinking, wow, this thing's going mad. The next thing we realized is that we ran into a major problem. On day 2, we had all these people, having done all these jobs, going straight into the Pick and Pay stores to go and cash out their money. But as they arrived, the worst thing could have happened. The tellers turned around and said, no, we've never heard of Money for Jam. This is not, we don't do cash. So the first thing that hit social media, scam. It's too good to be true, we told you, it's a scam. So what did we do? We went back to the traditional way of doing things. We went to the organization that was involved in the process of training and we said, guys, we've got a major problem. The tellers at Pick and Pay did not understand the cash out process. And they said, okay, well, let's not panic about this. What we'll do is we'll do the norm, we'll get union permission, we'll get the training material, we'll get all the trainers, and in around about 3 weeks, the best case scenario, we'll get everybody trained. Now you can imagine 3 weeks. Scam. That was never going to work for us. So then we realized the power of our very own platform. What we did is we created a job to a known consumer, instead of going through all this noise, we went and directed a job to each one of our jobbers and said, go out there, read this piece of paper, so not piece of paper, click on this link and read this PDF document, which tells you how to cash out at Pick and Pay. It gave instructions on what you say, it had a screenshot of where you enter your Y code, and we said, go back now and answer 4 questions about what you've just read. They went in, answered the 4 questions. If they got it right, they said, congratulations, you guys are now qualified to go cash out and teach the teller how to do this. If they got it wrong, they failed and said, please try again. Within 12 hours, we had 5,000 people descending on Pick and Pay around the country. And they were saying, I want to cash out my Money for Jam voucher. And they said, no, we don't. They said, no, you do. Let me show you. They walk around the till, and they said, put this number in there, click this button. By then we had all the tellers standing around, also wondering what's going on. We went from 280 inbound complaints for cash outs per hour to 5 the next day. So that's the power of the crowd. In the last 10 months, we've now created the biggest, largest staff-on-demand platform in South Africa. We've got in excess of 80,000 people jobbing. We've done jobs for over 100 brands on the platform. Jobbers have earned in excess of 2 million rand into their wallets. And within 3 weeks, we raised enough funding from NASPAS locally and Tencent in China to take us to 14 countries in the next 2 years. So the power of the platform is really, really fantastic. But actually, the bigger story is not so much about what we're delivering to the brands. It's not just about doing great work for brands, getting real-time insights, making sure that they can get that data quicker, faster, and cheaper than they can do it in their own resources. But it's also about changing people's lives. And what we're finding is that jobbers are actually jobbing for multiple reasons. Some are just jobbing to put bread on the table. Some jobbers are jobbing because they really love engaging with brands. They select the brands they want to work with, and they add value by telling them their opinion, by going out there and validating that a restaurant still exists on the map, by going into a store and doing a mystery shop, or just doing a pure merchandising process on the shelf. But then there are others that are actually jobbing for a cause. And they're actually getting together as a community, they're jobbing, they're collectively getting their funds, they're donating their funds to charities. And we see that as being absolutely phenomenal. Last week, we had a company called Wisher from the UK that came to us and said, could we place a job on the platform for South Africans to go and download our app? And on their app, they must create 4 wishes and then rate their experience. They got paid 30 rand to go and download the app, make their 4 wishes, and tell them what they thought about this app. And 2 days ago, we received a message from the CEO of Wisher in the UK to say that they had selected one of our jobbers whose wish was to have a kidney biopsy. They've granted that wish, and they've actually contacted the medical practitioners and paid all medical bills associated with that. So this is really exciting times. For us, it's more exciting to see what this platform is going to be able to deliver to brands, to help them to become more disruptive so they can keep up with the Ubers and the Airbnbs of the world. But it's also really important for us to see how we can change people's lives through providing these microjobs, even if it is just one microjob at a time. In the next 2 weeks, we're going to be deploying 80,000 human ATMs into the South African market. That's 80,000 people that are going to be able to help jobbers cash out. We're disrupting our own cash out model. And what we've actually realized is that if we're just creating a platform that allows brands to do things better, to be more agile, and to disrupt their markets, but we don't disrupt ourselves, then we're going to ultimately also be disrupted. So we're looking forward to seeing what happens. Thank you.